working on getting this thing. So basically the purpose of this project is I want to do Clojure and I want to do extension development in Clojure, but currently there's no good way to actually do a fast loop when it comes to doing extension development. It's a very slow process because basically you have to go to the page where the extension is loaded, which I think currently I have that set as IMDb, oddly enough. No, not IMDb. What is it? Box Office Mojo, which actually I've cleared out. Excuse me. This page loads the extension. But I think maybe you need the actual page to load, so that's easily fixed. I just have in order to avoid wasting my day away, I tend to have all the sites that I'm Geez, I stuck it twice. There. I have all the pages that I waste time on in general. There we go. Okay, so this is the extension actually loading. Right, so that's the behavior right there. And so the goal here is to get it to the point where I can basically do live code editing and live CSS editing for my extension, and it will just automatically reflect in the actual extension source without having to do, this is the usual process for developing extension. You have to, it's easier just to go here. You have to go to extensions, and you have to basically reload this page to reload the changes to your extension. And then you have to go to this page and reload the actual page. And then you have to actually do whatever it is you're trying to do with the extension. So that's obviously a big pain in the butt. So what I'm trying to do is reduce that huge part right there. But basically, at the moment all I'm doing is I'm just rewriting the depths or these URLs into other URLs. Maybe I should make that clear. Well, basically that's the idea, is rewrite all the way boot CLJS usually works is all your URLs are sitting at like localhost something I believe, and so I just rewrite them into the extension URL format, which is like Chrome extension blah blah out Kickstarter footer or something like that, okay. But I completely forgot about this because it's been more than a month I think since I looked at this, so I sort of will have to reread through. Anyway, there's only two places with code right now in the entire source project. There's build.boot, which I've edited, and this is it right here, the entirety of it. And the only real thing it does of any import is that it loads boot-build, facilely boot-show, which is this file right here, so we can pretty much just close the other one. And the main thing this does is go through these two steps. I've since learned that the extensions are actually running the opposite order I thought they were. I thought comp did left to right, but it turns out comp does right to left. And so this is the outermost and this is the innermost. I don't know whether I should fix that in some way. This was just me trying to get things working yesterday, because I made this namespace where previously it didn't exist. So yeah, that's that. I might listen to this for an hour or two. Okay. And that's it. Well, that's what we're doing. the difference between this and normal ClojureScript development is normal ClojureScript development, you're usually the only app loading in the actual page, and you're in fact usually often the entire content of the page, and so there's that. In extension development, you and one of the big problems with extension development in general, or as opposed to doing the ClojureScript way, right, is the ClojureScript, the way it ends up writing things into the extension is usually by using I forgot what it is, but .write basically. Document.write, I think it is, which just blows away the entire page. Oddly enough, once you do the first document.write, you can then just do the rest of them, and it doesn't cause a problem anymore. But if you do the document.write after the page is loaded, it'll actually blow away the original version of the page, which it makes it very hard to, like, the extension usually modifies the existing page in some way, but if you're document.writing into the page, you've just destroyed the page, which defeats the purpose of the extension, because, like I said, the extension modifies the content on the page. So, yeah, there's that. Okay, so, basically, high-level goal, get it so we can do ClojureScript development in extensions without having to reload the extension every time, and so that whenever I save a file, the code is automatically the code in the extension is put, or the code in the file just saved is pushed into the extension, so I don't have to basically reload the extension and also reload the page. It seems like is usually what you have to do. But at least having to reload the extension. Maybe you will have to reload the page, since the extension may have side effects that it performs as soon as the page actually is loaded, or as soon as it loads within the page, I should say. The other thing I should clarify is that extensions have a separate world than the actual page. So the extension and the JavaScript on the page and the JavaScript in the extension share the same DOM structure, right? They share the DOM, but they are completely separate in terms of their execution context, right? The JavaScript on the page is different than the JavaScript in the extension, and they are inaccessible to each other. I can't see their JavaScript, and they can't see my JavaScript. We're separate worlds, and so it's a bit weird, right? Because there are all sorts of ways of getting around this, but like the most obvious way to communicate between the page JavaScript and the extension JavaScript would be to write something into the DOM so they can read it. There are other ways to do it than that, but I'm just saying separate worlds, right? So extension development is a bit different than just writing JavaScript on a page, is different than just the writing JavaScript for for a normal app, basically. Okay, having said all that, let's see where I last was. It looks like I got some things rewritten, prepare main, prepare CLJS steps. So I'm pretty sure those are two files that end up being there. So I don't really get why I have to create a temporary directory and then I have to empty my temporary directory every time, but I just seem to do that as a matter of course, So this is obviously a closure wrapped on the outside, this temporary directory, created only once. The middleware is also, I think, run only once. Wraps this temporary directory. Every time it takes the next handler. No, it only runs once. It took the next handler once. And then the handler is what I end up returning. It always takes a file set. So anyway, part of the process, I always empty the file set, or the temporary directory I created earlier. I'm not entirely clear about that, but I get I get what it does. I just don't know entirely why I do that every time. But main temp files, file set core output files. So evidently these are the files I needed. Returns a set of temp file objects corresponding to files and file set with the output role. I don't know what the difference between the output, the input, and the user, but so yeah, I think you pretty much ignore this one. Input. It seems like I should be reading the input files, doesn't it? But whatever. Alright. And a filter in the path for main.js is what we're looking for. And then we take the first. Alright, so this is clearly a repeated pattern. Let's take that out. In fact, it's repeated 3 times, so good use of that. Find file name is, I think, the only argument in there. Oops. Hello. So what this does, basically, it's just this. It's going to need the file set too. Oh, that's weird. If you press the tilde key, you get a tilde and a there. Alright, anyway. So it takes the file set and it passes it to output files, which is effectively some sort of filter. Not really clear exactly what. Then it filters on all of those again, all the output files, just filters on them again, and finds the one that has a path equal to main.js. I'm pretty sure rather than writing it like that, we could just write it oh well. Anyway, that's fine. This is actually better. Let's write it this way. And we'll just say seek of I'm just going to say that this does actually take a file name. Shoot. I lost it. I change in here? I just remove 2 files. It's lines. It's fine. Yeah, it was main.js. Okay. That's annoying. Alright, mode. Whoops, that was enabled. Well, that's enabled. How come? Oh, I guess that is always what it did. Okay. Kickstarter temp file, main temp file. Okay, yeah. It's weird this is called the path, too. Just do it again. There we go. I guess it is a path. It was just saying that it was just saying that it was at the bottom already, or it was just saying that main and Kickstarter are both at the root. Kickstarter, I know, is not something that's naturally built. It must be something I'm building. So these two are really just static files, I think, most of the time. Input file, core temp file, ks temp file. What is temp file doing? There, it's right there. Returns the underlying Java IO file object for the temp file. I think I get it, yeah. To the file set root, okay. So I'm getting the temp path of the main and the temp file of the ks temp file. The output file, I take a temp and I take a path to it. Temp was this thing, okay. Actually, temp directory. Input file, which is the ks file, the Kickstarter file. I slurp the whole thing in, and then I spit the output file. Core copy file set into file set. Place the content destination temp file with the content source file. So into file set. Where did I get file from here? Okay. The immutable thing. The destination temp file with the content of source file. Okay, so this is the thing going in. This is the thing. This replaces the main. This replaces the KS. Excuse me. Replace the main temp file with the output file I generated, which is really just the file set I generated. Core commit that actually writes it into the other thing. Commit actually writes it into the temporary directory, and then from that temporary directory, but I guess it also returns. What does it return? The underlying file system is non-immutable. File system requires a commit method for just thinking given immutable file system with the underlying immutable system. Okay, the commit basically yeah, okay. Syncs the underlying managed directory with the immutable file set object. FS. Rebuilding the underlying directory according to its internal state. It returns the file set object. Okay, so it also returns the file set object. But now this file set object should be equivalent to, or now basically, the underlying directory, which is, well, we don't specify that, but the underlying directory is now synced to the version here, and then we call next handler. Here's another repeating pattern. Well, sort of. Not really. Too many arguments. Copy replaces the content of destination temp file. Yep, the last one, main temp file. Yeah. With the content of source file, output file. So destination temp file is a temp file, but source file is just a file. And FS is the file set. Alright. That's a bit weird. Okay, okay. So if I empty directory of temp, alright, I just gotta see, what does temp directory really do? Returns a boot managed temporary directory as a Java IO file. So this is a real file object. Okay. It's a directory that is a file object. And then core empty directory temp. to the temp directory to ensure that stale files from previous builds are removed. Okay. I guess it just does exactly what it sounds like it does. Alright. Let clj, or let main temp file. This is the main file. It's from a file set, so it is a temp file. KS temp file. This is from the file set, so it is a temp file. Input file. Temp file. Okay. Returns the underlying Java IO file object for the temp file. Okay, so this is also a real file. So we now have a real directory that is managed by us, that we've emptied, and a real file that is managed by us. Path. I'm not sure what this is really doing for, but for temp path. Returns the path of f relative to the file set root. Output file is closure Java IO file, temp, and path. Temp is definitely a directory. And path is a relative path on that directory, I think. Let's see, I get it. That's the output file. Okay, spit output file. The input file was the KS temp file, which is interesting, and it just spits the output file into into the just spits the input file into the output file. Or CP file set output file, same output file, main temp file. That's weird. Aren't we just overwriting on the next line what we just did the line before? No, that's the file set, not the actual file. This returns a new file set where output file has been overwritten by main temp file. Or reverse. The location at main temp file has been overwritten by output file. Okay, I get it, I think. Core commit that change. So we're reading the thing that is location main, we're reading in the Kickstarter, and then we're replacing main with the Kickstarter. Okay. So the question is, what is the Kickstarter? This is personal custom script I've made. its actual source rather than document.writing the source. In doing so, it doesn't blow away everything every time. First I request the actual script to the source, and then once I receive a response, once I actually receive a response, then I process it. Then if we succeed in getting through all the processing, through this, I remember this is some weird thing. By doing this, I make this eval global. And the global eval means that the source is evaluated at the root level, otherwise it would be evaluated in the context, I think, the function or something. It's something weird. Process script source. Then we process next. Process next. That does not look like a function to me right now. Oh, it is though. Var script is scripts.shift. Okay, takes off the front of the array. Is active, script source is not equal to undefined. Okay. If not is active, return. If it's not is the case that is active, return. We modify the script source to the Chrome extension source. Cool. And we request script external source, extension source. Let's just be very specific since this is pretty I don't think this is active. Actually, it is used right here, but who's... Oh, it is modifying this global is active, or this higher level at least is active. Okay. So, return function scripts.push. This is the actual function returned by this calling, which is add script, which I'm giving a sort of unique name so that it hopefully doesn't clash with everything else that you created. That's the best I can do, basically. Actually, that's not true at all. This may be called from elsewhere, though, I don't know. If type of Google is equal to undefined, then facilely add script out google.base. So that brings in the Google closure compiler. Then once that's done, we bring in the CLJS deps, and then we bring in the Kickstarter footer, which I don't know what that is. But not sure who this is supposed to be. Who is Kickstarter footer? I don't think he's defined anywhere. See, this is the part that really sucks, right? I made a change, and the only way to really test it is to actually reload this page, reload that page. I'm not sure what happened there. See, it didn't work actually. I can see a Kickstarter footer is still there. The only thing to do is actually to close the page down and reopen it. Kickstarter footer is still there despite the fact that I commented this out. Okay, so reload this page. We can see that the first thing is loaded our base. That's good. Let's actually just let's put a little space in between these things just to make it a little more clear. The only thing to do is to actually disable and re-enable this thing. There we go, finally. Oh, I guess it doesn't work. Jesus, it's crazy. I mean, is it just that I'm doing it, or? Maybe I'm doing it wrong. There we go. I mean, you can see why I'm like, this is a terrible, terrible way to build code. I mean, like, it's so easy for things not to load or whatever. It's just, it's kind of insane, honestly. I can't believe anybody developed extensions. Okay. Alright. Okay. So as you can see, currently we're getting Google.base because I guess Google is undefined at the beginning. Just equal. Let's reload this page and do that, and oop. Still work. Assuming it loaded, which right is the thing. I don't really know whether it did. Facility add script out CLJS depths. I guess we could try adding that third script, which I'm not clear where it's getting that. But okay. Let's just try doing the minimal one. It should be. We should just be able to reload. Clearly it does not work. What about actually unloading and reloading? There we go. Oh. So we got 2 out of 3, right? We got the request and we got the response. We just had no success with actually running the code. But I mean, that's clearly pretty obvious why we tried to get a box office mojo. We shouldn't have been getting from there. We should have been getting from local Chrome extension. So, problem is the domain is always the, I mean, it always tries to do relative URLs, which I think it's basically reading through CLJS depths right now, right? So. There is no Kickstarter footer at all. I don't know where it's getting that, but so this is the Kickstarter that's zipping there. Pretty much the same file. Actually, it is the same file. But out/CLJS depths is okay. So I guess it was able to go through and do fine for base. Which I don't know which one it failed on, right? But anyway, all of these things need to be converted into from their relative paths to absolute paths with Chrome extension. So why is that not working is the question. You would hope that we would process this properly. Clearly we haven't. I mean, it's still the same thing. So here are CLJS steps. This should be reading through here, input file, core temp file, CLJS steps file, path. Output file. Basically doing the same thing. Make parents. How come I didn't use that on the other one? Oh, because it was at the root, right? So I didn't need to make parents because I was just already at the root, I knew. Input file. I'm supposed to replace base.js with actually I am. I did do what I was supposed to do, which is replace this with that. But then I was supposed to replace everything that is of this form. So let's check. Did we replace, I mean we did replace base.js with health.google. Target out CLJS depths. We did replace base.js without out/google.base.js, so that's good. Now everything is basically the form directory like that, out/whatever. So the next line is the one that's not running, basically. Google add dependency. Blank, blank, blank. Ugh, ugly URL. Or ugly stuff. Google add dependency Chrome extension get URL. So wait a minute. No, I didn't. Oh, we did actually replace. I didn't even see this. looks like everybody's been properly replaced. So who is this, actually? Maybe this already works. I mean, everybody's now a Chrome extension URL. Which, if I knew how you'd actually view what the extension itself loaded from the server. I don't know where it's getting this from, this Kickstarter Flickr, but it seems to work. Kickstarter footer. Yep, alright. No, Google writes scripts. Oh, it's from here. But, it's ultimately from main.js, line 14. Oh, it's right here. Oh, it's something I emailed, that's why it can't give me a real line number. Damn. But I actually know it's in the Kickstarter footer, I think. Really? Do I know that? I mean, I went through this entire thing without an error. I went through this entire thing without an error. I went the first two of these and then hiccuped. There we go. Code will require boot cljs main. So I can only assume that this is occurring because, well, yeah, on this function. Yep, okay. Require goo.write scripts. Alright. Whose write scripts coming in from? Well, we don't really know, but it looks like the Clojure library is where it comes from. Visit node path. Visit node path. That's not actually where you could do this in JavaScript. If path is in deps.requires. So I guess that says if the key is in that object. Undefined name to path for require name. Undefined name to path. Where is that? There it is. basically, got here and it said I don't know how to do that. I tend to agree. I don't see how I would have known what Google String is. How would it have known where Google String is, where it's supposed to retrieve Google String from? Kickstarter footer. Was it defined in Google Base? No, it wasn't defined anywhere. So it has no idea where Google String is, but somehow it's expected to at this point, which I'm not really clear about that. How would it know where Google String is already? Sure, I'm going to disable the CLJS steps to get a little more idea what's going on. Oops. Close the thing out, reload the page, reboot this, open the thing up, do that. Still doesn't fuck. God, this fucker is annoying. Disabling this, renewing this. To recompile. Maybe it's my fault. Oh heck, just close it out. I just need to kill the whole process. That's not good. We did it fail earlier. Man, I'm beginning to think this is just a lost cause. This is just too complicated. Maybe I should think about looking for other ways to do what I'm trying to do. Like, I don't know, but like, I mean, basically the problem is the default way this thing works is a document write blows everything away. That's number one issue. So if that's the problem, I need to read that document that I write it, I think. Make sure there isn't some way of using this. I mean, I can't. I guess just for development, I guess maybe it'd be okay just to pull the entire DOM tree, like the HTML document itself, out of the document, do a document.write, and then append it back in. Or then set it again, basically. I mean, is that even possible? Let's look at that. Let's start document dot head dot yeah, okay, I get that. Oh, okay, well, for the document that children is this thing, the document that first child is this header thing, or whatever you call it, a doc type declaration. Alright. Okay. So this is clearly the guy that should be able to remove. Document that, first child should be, let's just actually check my head. I don't think you could do this, what am I saying? Well, let's just see, maybe you can. Okay. Alright, that's cool. Definitely the last object remove child. Okay, so document dot first child. Okay, conditional dot remove child of my body should be okay. That's interesting. But do I still have a body? Yes. I put it back in. HTML append child of my body. It's back. Okay. What about HTML remove child of my head? No styling, obviously. Version of my body. I should just have an empty HTML almost the entire page. Okay, that seems reasonable, but what happens if I then say document dot write and I say ignore undefined. Okay, element, it's got a body in it, so ignore. Alright, let's do it again. There should be 2 in there. Yep, okay. So now it's not clearing the document every time you do that. I never got that behavior. I don't get why that occurs, but I'm going to say document remove child document last child dot last child. Shit, that's not the one I meant to took of. That's okay, actually. We can. Okay, but now we can add them back in. Document dot append child my head. But there should be append child on node. Only one L on document allowed. Okay. Now we got a thing with a head and all this stuff in there again. No body. Okay. Okay. It's a bit weird. It seemed to sort of work, but the big question is, are the event handlers and stuff still here? How should we know? No, biggest question though actually is, if I do a document write of ignore it again. Now it doesn't clear the whole thing. Actually, it doesn't even put it in here, it seems like. Where's that going to? now the document.write isn't writing to anything, actually. Interesting. Interesting. So it's like we can't remove the document.body thing because that's a special document.body that seems to take in the document.write. Oh dear. Okay. Okay. Let's start over. Oops. Alright, so let's say, so first let's get the head. Let's just get the HTML. Then let's get the, my head is equal to HTML dot first child. My body is equal to HTML dot say document.write nothing and nothing. Do I still have a reference to my body? Yes, I do. Interesting. Cool. Okay, that's interesting. But now nothing, okay. So I'm gonna just document.remove child. I'm gonna remove document dot last child dot first child, which should be the head. Okay, I think it did remove the head. Yep. Now, if I do a document.write, what happens? Document.write still works. Okay. So I'm going to do a document I'm going to do a for okay. Okay, I'm going to say for a new body, well, I'm going to call it the right body is equal to document dot last child dot last child. So this is the one that was created by the document.write. Oops, that's not a function. Right body. Okay, so the right body I'm going to give the name of anyway, I'm just saying document.write. Okay. So I'm going to say right body dot append child. Oops, no. Right body dot append child. The it's in my body, children, which is an array-like thing. Let's see. If you're the pinch held on node, parameter 1 is not type node. It's probably, okay, let's look at this. My body.children. Effing piece of okay, fine. So that's done. Alright. Actually, that looks... It went a little bit, but it didn't put the container in there. That's surprising. One, two, three, four, five. One, two. Here's the div ID container. One, two, three, four. Yep, so it just skips over this. That's fine by me, but clearly did not put it in there. Should be the last one. Okay, yeah. But let's just check that right still works. Uh-oh, we have no head. Okay, so the styling's applied now. At least. Oops. I don't think it really matters, but it's interesting. Just to make sure that the head still works. That the right still works. Yep, sure does. Okay, good. that's a bit worrisome. Why did it add it twice? Oh, that's what it returns. This is the thing it added. So how come it added 4 things, but it only says it added... Oh, I guess maybe it really did only add... No, it doesn't make sense. So this is only added 2, basically. Cool. So now I really can add all these things in here without it blowing it away every time. Assuming that's going to work. Just theoretically another path we could go down is this path of just basically pulling the head and the body out, doing a document.write, just clears the whole thing, adding the head back in, adding the body back in one at a time, because evidently if you just add the body back in as a whole, you have the old body, and then if you try to document.write, it ends up nowhere. Well, yep. Okay. That's weird. No lie. Alright, that's a good digression, but let's go back to the original problem, which is somehow Google.string, it has no idea where to go get that. And I tend to agree, I don't see any place where it generally said get Google.string. So I'm a bit confused where it's coming from myself. Okay, you're saying there's no find file? This is recursive. Reflect. What the hell? Found a phone session. Huh? That's weird. Okay, it just works this time. Whatever. I don't know. But let's reload facilely. Let's reload this and let's see what errors I got. Okay, so it totally didn't work, obviously. But okay, that's good. So let's try to figure out where the hell you would have gotten. Okay, so you would have loaded google.base and whatever. Google.base.js. Yes. There's nothing in here to help you with string. With google.string. Base.js will read from Google. Oh, it's the other way around. In order to satisfy is this saying this is the file that'll satisfy Goog? I think it is. Yeah. This is the file that'll satisfy the Goog requirement. It depends on nothing. This is the file cljs/core.js is the file that will satisfy cljs/.core, and this is the things it depends upon. I do agree, I don't see where google.string came from or any of that other stuff. Google add dependency. Okay, so there should be something here. Add dependency. Relative to that provides requires. So yeah, it's saying I'm requiring google.string, but there's no place that google.string got included here as near as I can tell. I have a slight question. Are event handlers removed from nodes when detached from DOM? guess we could also filter out the script stuff, right? Which doesn't affect the document, but doesn't need to be run twice, probably. I'm thinking. Yeah, I just don't get where Google.string even comes from in the general case. This clearly requires, but where does it get Google.string? There's only one choice, and it must be in base.js under So yeah, somehow base.js brings in Google.string, I'm pretty sure. The only other option is that main.js is somehow doing this. Or, who's the other guy we need to get now? Yeah, just base.js. This isn't right. This isn't what it should be. There should be a main.js somewhere in here, I think. Yeah. How come I'm not seeing that? There it is. Okay, I just somehow missed it. Okay, type that in the fine. Output Google / base. That brings in that. And that's synchronous in some sense of the word, or at least it's synchronous because document.writes are synchronous, or because script are executed synchronously, and document.write is effectively synchronous too. Write script source is equal to out cljs script. If type of Google is not equal to undefined. Okay. So what if we just save the head, save the body, then we restored from basically we just stripped all the scripts that were already in there because they've already been run once. Well, we don't really know that that's true actually. Already been run once. So yeah, let's That's true, they may not actually have the chance to run yet. Okay, what if we did something different and actually, rather than trying to save this stuff, we actually did a document.write just to clear out the whole, just so that we're now in the document.write world, and then we just reload the page you're actually on without reloading. Instead, we actually do a URL XML HTTP request to the actual page and pull this actual site down. And basically insert these things into the head one at a time, and then insert these things into the body one at a time. And so now it's basically a new context. There is a disadvantage that the JavaScript is sort of being loaded twice effectively now. But yeah, that would be cool if there's a way to fix that, but I don't know if there is. This document.write clear the JavaScript that already exists. Well, no, obviously not, because I can still refer to things that existed before I did the document.write. It's just such a weird thing, document.write, honestly. Document has already loaded without calling document.open. Open call happens when document.write is called after the page is loaded, but that's not defined as an automatic document.open call happens when document.write is called after the page is loaded. But that's not defined in the W3C spec. Do not confuse this method with Windows Open. Weird stuff. No argument here. So I can document.write effectively calls document.open. Because the document is already loaded. Well, I feel like it might be okay to only run to basically grab the head, grab the body, only reload, basically do a document.write, grab the head, grab the body, do a document write, which just clears the whole thing, and then add each element to the head that is not a script tag, then add each element to the body that is not a script tag. So basically you're just taking from the previous document and adding them back in. And then loading the normal JavaScript stuff and just using the normal document.write method. Because now that we've actually opened a new document, the document.write method won't clear the page every time. Which is just goofy. I don't understand why it does that. What happens when document.write is called after the page is loaded? But that's not defined in W3C spec. Why did somebody decide to do that the first time? Furthermore, why did the Google Clojure library choose this as the method for inserting new code into your app? Or did they? Maybe this is just a ClojureScript hack to get this to work in. Either way, it's very problematic for doing extension development, because if you clear the page out, I have nothing to work with or on, or basically there's nothing for the extension to run with, basically. So we need to put everything back in there. I kind of feel like this path I'm going down with just like replacing these things out is just too much. There's too much to understand here to get it to work. But yeah. The alternative is to try to do what I just mentioned. Oh well, it's Sunday. I'm gonna go get a giant breakfast of some sort. Think about it later. Alright, so I guess let's give this a shot. Alright. All I did was just comment out the main that is generated and disable the actual generation. So we're just running raw right now. Just JavaScript. Alright. So we run at, what was it again? Let's try running at document start. In case you remember, the files are injected after any files from CSS. Is this, I mean, are they talking about normal CSS? Oh, this CSS. or any other script is run. Huh. Okay. I don't see how that can be true for everyone. No, I guess I do. I wonder if they mean any other, including the actual scripts of the page. But, okay, whatever. Okay, so, var, let's just start off by saying console.log document dot last child, because we don't want to get that stupid header thing. Excuse me. Document dot last child dot what should be the HTML dot. This should be the stringified form. Let's see what that says. What site was it again? It was box office. That's right. Yeah. Okay, so that's sort of. Nope. Sorry. This is from a previous test I was running just a few minutes ago. I remember to say. Annoying. I don't get why I have to actually reload, or I have to enable disable to get my thing to work. But I do find it very annoying. Okay, so that's that. So, okay. Alright, sure, let's do it. Document dot write. Just write nothing. Let's see what happens. Interesting. Well, actually, I guess it's expected, but. Alright, well, just out of almost curiosity, what would happen if I were to just say var source is equal to document.write source? Basically just reloads the whole page, but with the document.write. Oof, I'm not sure. I'm not sure at all what happens here. That's weird. That's frightening too at the same time. And that's different too. Right? It actually, no, it is the same. It's just, okay. I mean, what can I test JavaScript-wise in here? And now I can theoretically say document.write. Write my pigeons attribute. Oh, oops, I forgot to actually reload it. pigeons in there. Nothing's been cleared, nothing's been done. Creepy. I wonder just really how often this is really gonna work. I mean, I really don't know. But let's say I just did that, you know. Say I just did that. What would happen? We got 2 errors, probably, yeah. I can't actually find out if those resources. But so it looks like it worked. And all we gotta do is rewrite these resources, and then maybe it will. I just don't know. So let's, rather than modifying this, let's just go back to our Kickstarter, which we're replacing it with. HTML Kickstarter. Yeah, this is where I was testing it earlier. I decided to just start testing it manually. Alright. So we're just gonna do this first thing first. We don't need any of this magic anymore. And we almost don't need any of this magic anymore. You can get away with a lot less, at least, if nothing else. Alright, so let's just try creating a little thing right here that creates a little doodad, and then that's within here, create a little function for boop. And take source. Return that. Don't need this footer thing anymore because we're just going to put it in, leave it in there manually. This third part. So we sometimes pull in the base, whether Google is undefined or not, basically. We then always put in the CLJS depths. we sometimes pull in, and then we always run this, which I really dislike as actual code just because it's a giant source string, but that's okay. It should still work, I think. Well, it needs to actually make the request, or actually it needs to do the document type, right? Oops, I'm sorry. Alright, I need to see where you're actually doing that. Plus, pulls out one of them. Script source, closes out actual script, and then just close it with actual closing script tag. Alright. Let's just keep a little history of what we came from. I think that makes sense. Let's go here and just try that out. We should fail at the point when we start trying to pull CLJ steps now. Factory token, or when I put meta syntax there. Function. This point now. Oh, so that should fail. Takes a returns a function. Yeah, I'm not clear why that would not work. Returns a function, then I execute the function immediately. Oh. That's a bit weird. Okay, sure. So it doesn't see it as a whatever, I'm not clear, but whatever. It's goofy, but there's a lot more goofy things in JavaScript than that, so who cares? God, well, probably just need to. That's what I tried to do. Oh wait, I'm not. I'm a genius. I'm editing the Kickstarter. I think this is the most commonly seen one, so I'll do that. Actually, I like this one better. That makes more sense to me. Who said that? I didn't say that. Somebody said it. Oh, maybe I said it, sort of. Well, it's getting closer, isn't it? I mean... Connection refused. So this may not super work, but it's kind of a little bit better, or at least we're closer. There's no way that could work. We don't even have a WebSocket server running. Alright, let's try going further. Let's try doing just boot dev. And this new Kickstarter, let's see if that gets us further. Okay. What's your problem? Yeah, I've seen this work queue. I don't know what to tell you about that. That's just weird stuff. Build. Good build, okay. Just random things just seem to fail. This was also in boot dish. Well, of course it'd be in boot dish CLJS. Because like this was working before, so I don't understand what I've done to cause it to fail now. I mean, I've done pretty trivial stuff, like putting this filter and find file outside. Which I haven't made a commit in way too long. Jeez. That's not good. Okay, let's this is basically it. It's just not much, actually. It's actually not true either. Right? I mean, okay, I'm comfortable deleting that change. Well, there you go.
this actually be it? Could the document start stuff actually be the stuff causing the issue? I hadn't thought of that. I considered for that possibility. No, I mean we haven't even run yet, so this is the building. So I don't think this is it. Let's discard that as well. Boot build. So we got this new filter file set. Let's use the filter file set now. Oh poop. Alright, let's try actually removing target. Even though I thought we were never supposed to have to do kind of stuff like that. Clean kind of things. Whatever. So probably I could have just gotten away with clearing out target. Anyway, everything should be borked now. Let's make sure. Enable. See, that's a huge issue. Well, whatever. I'm not gonna go into a little rant about it, but if I can't know that things are being rebuilt properly. Alright, we're back to everything being screwed at this point, so that's good. Let's now just go through our thing that we built that just puts these in here, which just reduces the code a bit and makes it a little more clear, I think. Actually, let's just remove this ugly thing first. Let's remove this one too, since I'm pretty sure we're not using it. Okay. Stage, commit. Oh no, let's not do anything yet. Let's do the same thing. Let's clear our stupid target. Just in case that's the thing that's making the problems show up. Who did? Disable. Alright, looks good. That is to say, it doesn't work in the same way that it didn't work before. Unused tests. Okay, the next thing we do is we put in these oops. seems to think it can still build from that, but let's make sure. Eventually I'll stop doing this remove RF target thing every time, but I really want to make sure that every level change I make is going to be buildable from square one. Like here, for instance. That's when this starts happening, is when I do that. That's weird. Okay, so this is the error, actually, maybe. Let's just do it again and see if we get a completely different random error, basically, in terms of stuff not being able to. Then let's just ask ourselves, what the hell am I doing wrong? Such a slow process. Alright, yeah. That's a thing where, nope, just completely random what you miss. See if I can actually just rerun the code here and actually. Nope. I don't get how to do that really. Maybe I need to rerun the rerun the code from here and then re-require it from there. I don't know. I'm sure that makes sense. Or rerun it from boot underscore build.clj and re-require it from build.boot. Okay, so we're good again. So just go and add this back in. Alright, does the pure inclusion of this cause a problem? No. Let's just make sure. Not the most interesting programming in the world, but this is the exact kind of problem I'm trying to get over. Because like this is how it is to develop for Chrome extensions with ClojureScript. And actually, realistically with other things too. You're just sitting there constantly just reloading things, if that's how you're used to developing software. And that is awful, basically, is the word. Okay, so we seem to still be fine. Let's just try doing one, you know. And here we go. Seems to be okay with that. Let's try doing two. big difference there. Okay, there is actually nothing there, so. It's the same, and now it's failing this time. That's fucking... Okay. What if I redo it the exact way I did it here? Oh. Does it just randomly start failing eventually? It seemed to get it to. Let's just replace main back with main. I don't get why I can't include that. Fasted file name, file set predicate. Filter for predicates. Using predicate. Oh shit, because I wrote it as a filter. That's not a predicate. I don't even know why it works the first time, but push our luck. Sure, I'm a push your luck kind of guy. Let's make sure from the beginning. That's pretty good. Let's just make sure we're getting the same error we had before. Disable Google / base. I don't think it's the same error. What's changed? start has changed, for one thing. Let's just see what it's actually ended up building. What the hell? Oh, it's because it's from scratch. Target, out, oops, main.js. Well, that's going to be, oops, there we go. That is not processed, obviously. Alright, let's go look at target main.js. Still completely not right. It is just ignoring it. And then let's look at out cljs depths, which I assume will be exactly the same. Yes. Completely ignoring it. Okay. So clearly our little stinger here is not really working. Something about this. Oops. First of all, we always are using the same file, so that's a bit embarrassing. So I just don't know how to actually rerun the code, so I just gotta do this every time. For boot, that is to say. Should really ask on Slack. Assuming boot uses Slack. Or I should ask wherever boot does be. Alright, let's go look at main.js. Alright, good. It replaced it with the old version of main, and let's go look at out cljs depths. Cool. Okay, that looks good. I think I'm okay with this in this version. Well, it's just one last sanity check. Let's just enable or disable, re-enable. See this. Cool. Okay. Boot build stage. Finally, let's actually go into that scratch thing we had, and this is the new Kickstarter, basically. You're all gone, and everything else is new. Reload. Shit. Get URL undefined. I don't know what that's about yet, but it's under cljs depths.js1. Chrome extension.get URL. Huh. Oh, I see. shit. Is there any way to get this at runtime? This doesn't have Chrome.extension in it. Get URL undefined, okay. Alright, so we're gonna have a big problem if we can't figure out what the how to actually build those URLs outside of the extension, because this code is being pulled in outside of the extension. And I have no freaking idea how we can do that. Too bad we were really, I feel like we were pretty close here, but that's going to be a problem. Yeah. That's good. So wait, didn't we go past the main though and it worked fine when we did it that way? Well, yeah, because main was part of the content script. Shit, that just sucks. Yeah, because we can do the Chrome extension get URL in main. What we can't do it is in the actual page. Ugh, painful. Could we inject something into the page that we can do the same thing, you know? Yeah, okay, let's start with that. Let's inject something into the page, the JavaScript page. How do I do that? I would add a script tag that injects something into the JavaScript page first. Okay, that makes sense, I think. Bar. Actually, and I do actually want to do this outside of the. Well, let's write a script tag that contains. First, let's actually find out what the URL is. Bar extension path is equal to chrome.extension.get URL. Let's just pass in the empty string and see what happens. Then I'm going to say script bar facilely path. You can't do them like that, can you? Extension path is equal to extension path plus, close that off, close this script. Okay. What this animal is. Well, we did get a failure. Extension path is not defined. Extension path. That is true. Shit. I actually need to pass it over somehow. Wait a minute, it should be defined here. Extension unless I misspell it, which I did. Extension. Well, I'm embarrassed, but how do you spell extension now? Extension, okay, with an S. Sorry. And let's reload this page. Primary property get URL. Okay, so that's the arrowhead before. And then what I'm curious about though is there such a thing as a, there we go. Cool. So with that, I can probably go in here and rewrite all these mothers to be like this. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. We can deal with that. So rather than making an actual value, I'm going to just make it a function. Okay. Within that function, you're going to take a source, and the function is going to return this. I guess just like this actually. Going to return your extension path I created here as a string. Plus the actual source you passed in. Close that out, and actually just put this on 2 lines to make it a little more clean. I said 2, I meant 3. Close the script. We're going to put it between 2 scripts, in fact. Okay. Now we gotta go to, well, let's just see if that works. Alright. So we enable disable. Reload this bad boy. Probably made a typo here. Write script. Our facility equals function don't have to do it that way either. Oops, wrong place. Turn that. Turn this script. Yep, I think that makes sense. What's wrong with that? Legal, okay. Well, maybe it just needs to be on the same line. I don't know. That's weird. Oh crap, something went super wrong there. Well, I think it's because we actually had it cleared. Oh, what did I just do? I didn't actually set it back, did I? I cleared out that part. That wasn't good. Okay, reload this. Boop, boop. Reload that. Reload it twice, which is a bit worrisome, but whatever. And check if we have facilely extension path defined. Facilely extension path, which should take a hello.js file and should return a. But you probably can't access those, can you, from the page? But maybe I can loosen it up so that you can. That would be cool. Okay, let's see if I can do that. So first things first is we just gotta actually change all of those things to be facility extension path. I'm not clear why it's lowercasing all these. That's weird and annoying. Okay, because that's the best we can do in here. Alright. Unload, reload. Reload the page. Every property get URL of undefined. Extension. Hey, that's not what's supposed to be there. Oh, I guess we need to reload the. Let's just try to figure out how to do this. Okay, so I'm saying compile this first. Oh, okay, let's actually connect the connection. I'm saying move into here and compile this. Now, can we get that? No, I didn't hear you do anything though. Okay, there you go. See if you reloaded that. Nope. Okay, so now let's move back to boot user. Can I just move into submit in? Okay, well, you can't, but I don't know if that works or not. Let's try compiling here. Nope, that doesn't work at all. I don't know how you actually reload the code. Alright. We reload this. We reload that. We have 16 errors. Fantastic. Error file not found. Poop. Shit. I put it twice. Put my extension in my extension. Why the hell did it do that? Why the f did it do that? That's confusing. Why would it have done that? So that would almost indicate that I can just take the whole thing out and it would work. Wait a minute, I'm just confused by that actually. Add dependency. Facility extension path. Does facility extension path do what I think it does? Because it should be taking, for instance, a out/google/base.js, returning us a nicely formed that totally works, but it doesn't work when you double load them. So why is it double loading them? Because I don't know, honestly. Maybe I just don't need the facility extension stuff at all. Maybe I don't need to process this file in the least anymore. Let's try not preparing CLJS steps. And probably have to actually reload the thing again. Because we've never figured out how to get this code to reload. Like how to get boot to actually reload its dinger. I should watch Terminator 2. I haven't seen that movie in like 10 or 15 years, I think. No, that's too long. I haven't seen it in 10 years at least. No. Alright. Boop, boop. Reload. Whoa, no errors. Whoa, dude. Whoa. Well, I don't know if it's working. Actually, I'm pretty sure it's not because it's saying nothing about the WebSocket connection. Well, that sucks. Let's see what the files actually look like. And that's not right. It shouldn't have this anymore. Are you sure that's what you're seeing? Okay, that's more like it. So that's right for this. This is, I guess, right for that. I don't really know, but evidently it works. What did you search for on the network? I don't see you retrieving. Oh wait, that's actually all the stuff. Holy crap, and you're actually successfully retrieving it, it looks like. Alright, let's before we get our host. Oh, actually, I know it's not working because it doesn't have the little loading thing at the beginning, which is what it's supposed to ultimately have. How did we get that working before? We actually loaded the, you know, it said JavaScript is work. Oh, it's right there. Oh, wait, it says that. Whoa, whoa. Let's see about this. CLJS facility for. Oh. Error while loading script of facility core, blah blah blah. JS loader error. Lame. Oh, I did it wrong. I shouldn't have loaded this. I should have loaded it from extensions. So I gotta probably go into here. Or there, and override this to use my facility load extension thing. Well, it's a bit closer, I think. It's certainly a bit, it's working better than it worked in the other way I was trying to go through here. Although it may still end up being the same thing. I gotta go through and change all of these. I also don't know what side effects the fact that I've reloaded the page this way has on the app. I mean, it just depends on how they structured their own code, but yeah. So JS loader.js 193. A pin child. Yep, that's what I want to see. You built that script up. Good. Source should be URI, so all I think I have to do is really change the, I think the source probably originally was out facility core blah blah blah. So let's just console log that. I think we're about to have dinner though, so okay, so let's just console log what the source was first. Set properties on script, alright. Okay, cool. Oh, shit. That's not how you save things under. I'm trying to save it. Pressing save. Well, I'm not sure. That's annoying. Asshat. Why aren't you saving? Control S? What is, God damn it. Okay. So, see this. Alright, so that's cool. We get to this point without failing. And maybe that says nothing changed. There's nothing to reload. Okay, cool. Alright, so let's go into JS loader. Let's go into here. Let's see. Console.log URI was. Oop. Oh, I gotta stop using Emacs in here. Okay, URI. Control save. What the fuck? That's fine. Okay, that's what that's saying. Alright. But I don't care about that. I just want you to save it locally. Yes. What happens now? No. Whoa. Well, URI was. Ooh, it's one of those crazy things. Okay, that's fine. Google URI things. Alright, that's fine. I don't really care about the details of it too much. I just need to go into here and I think set the shit, I don't know. I guess just set the path to an absolute path. I guess I could set it all correctly, which I think you'd set the scheme to extension and all sorts of other weird things you'd have to set. That's not it. Chrome extension is the scheme. I'm not sure what the hell any of the other stuff is, but I don't care. I'm just going to set it. I'm going to try setting the path. But I need to have dinner and yeah, so try that. I'll get to that in just a second. Alright, so good dinner. Let's figure out what we can figure out. What was I doing last? Should really leave a note to myself when I leave. So we're gonna override something so that when I update the code, we get. So I was gonna try to override the code in here. so we take this path, we need to sort of munge it into what we need it to be. No. Well, first let's not do that. Let's just actually redo it right here. So let's make the URI equal to equal to, where was I? Facilely extension path URI. I think that slice start from 1. See what we got there. So now when I edit that, see what happens. Failure there. So the extension path is not defined. Should be defined at that point. Facilely. Okay. Do you think I could spell the word that I made up myself? Okay. That slice is not a. Oh yeah. Well, fudge. Actually, wait. Where's it getting URI from? it already has to. There it's here. Okay. Don't really get how. Why don't we be extra careful and say why don't you give me a way of actually seeing the expanded form of that? Okay. I guess it's google.uri. Okay. Set path, new path. Sure. I don't really get it, but sure. Slice of undefined. Oh, fine. Get path. No. 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 Closer, but no. Oh, crap. Hell, I don't know. I'll try putting schema in as Chrome extension and domain in it as the rest. I'll just try putting domain in as rest. Try not changing the actual path and just setting the domain to the empty string. Or I assume there is a set. Yep, there is a set domain. I just looked at it. Set domain is equal to. Let's just try setting that bad boy to the empty string. Boop, boop. Oh shit, now it's broken. Oh no, it's not. Script, Chrome extension, and blah blah blah. That actually looks pretty right to me. Folks, it's got a double quote now. So Chrome extension is the actual thing. It's supposed to start at OEF. So you can drop the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 characters off of here. Dot slice 19. That sets the domain. URI dot set scheme. This facilely. Yep. Boop. Dot slice 0 to 19. See what that says. I can't guess what's wrong. Set schema is not a function, okay. maybe it says scheme. I'm not sure. Let's try set scheme. Yeah. Set scheme. Chrome extension, boom, 2F. Okay, so we need to actually slice those off. So yeah, not 19, but actually something less than that. 16, closer though. I don't know what that's supposed to be about. I'm guessing maybe 16 is what we're trying to go for the first slice. And then maybe, oops, not for this slice. So domain. Wait a minute. We need to have a limit though to how much we, no we don't, this is the empty slice. Okay, 19. So we want to slice till the length minus 1. Can I slice the -1 of a string and just get the end? C. Let's slice. Yep, sure can. Okay, cool. Makes that a little easier. Alright. T -1. 0 to 16, let's try. Excuse me. I should not have done that. God damn it. Just cleared everything I was working on. Fuck. Okay. URI that's set. Scheme. Facilely. This is too hard a word to spell. Extension path, alright. Extension path. Saying 0 to 16, I think might be roughly right. URI.set domain facilely path dot slice 19 to -1. Alright. No error. Oh man. That's cool. Oh man. Oh man. Oh, this is so exciting. I gotta go use the restroom. Still occupied. Oh. I guess I could piss outside, but I'll just wait. Alright. Clojurescript is. Oh man, that's cool. That's cool. No doubt about it. Alright, so let's get what we got so far going. So, Kickstarter. Removed all of that, and we just added in this thing. That seems reasonable. Boot build. finally I just gotta write another thing that's I'm gonna go through here and replace this one file, this one little thing, this one little file to make it do what I need it to do.
Watch half of it tomorrow night, and then we will be finished by Tuesday night. We're going to go to San Francisco.
Alright. Okay, so this is exciting. Let's look at this. Alright, so final step is let's just do exactly what we're doing here, which is do the thing we're doing in source. This basically, that's really it. You just gotta change the path right here. So what file? We have to find this JS loader file. It's under net, it's under google.net.xpc.js loader. Okay. Okay, so it's probably the only file actually called that. So let's see. I guess I can just refer to it by its long name. This is not it. We're looking for boot build. So we don't actually need the first subject steps at all. I'm just going to copy it for the moment. So, what do we got here? It's pretty much the same thing, except we're going to say out groove net xpc JS loader, I think. JS loader.js, okay. And path alpha file. Same stuff. We don't need to do this. We instead just need to basically replace the line that says look for a good place to do this. isn't necessary anymore. So let's take that out. Yep. Here's JS loader, okay. Alright, well, this is what we need, so we'll just copy that, then let's reload this. Okay, let's reload this. I don't see it in there. Oh, we would need to actually restart the app though. Okay, so we probably didn't find that actual file. Well, if we did, maybe we need to make parents output file. How about just JS loader? So that doesn't work. Yes. That's the problem. We're not finding it at all. Okay, so JS loader. JS loaders. out/goog/net/xpc/JS loader. Shit, I cleared target, didn't I? Alright, so the only way I'll be able to make sure that that's actually there is to not do this line. Okay, so let's restart. Oy, oy, oy. steps are really boring to wade through. Okay, did I remember to reload even once and then it died? Well, no, it never ran, so it's not like I need to remember. Okay. I'll just see. I mean, obviously it's going to be here, but out, Google, net, XPC, JS loader. Oh, shit. What? Well, son of a bitch, it's not actually there. Well, son of a gun. How is it there then when I look? Oh dear, this could be complicated. Alright. Target out CLJS devs. Google.net.js loader. So it's here. It's not in under XPC, but it's sure seems to show up under XPC. That's very, very weird. This is a long file. So for something like add unerror. Okay, so there we are. This is the right file, it's just not in the right place. Why that is, I do not know. And why it is in the different place here, I do not know. But let's just try putting in this one. Kickstarter. Not Kickstarter, but build/boot. Or boot/build, I mean. Out/Goog/net/JS loader. Out/Goog/net/JS loader. Weird, weird. Don't get that at all. But anyway, let's go into here. Found something this time. This menu, let's see the menu. Let's just stop as we load the page. And cool. Oh, it actually would have put them all in their own line anyway. That's like okay. Okay, cool. Let's try editing our file. Cool. Cool. Now, let's try. See if we can do the other one. Cider Connect. resolve symbol start REPL in this context? Isn't that how you start a CLJS REPL? Root user. Well, anyway, even if I can't do that, I can do this, I think. Just have to do everything in this rather than having a REPL. Okay, that makes sense, but what if I just save it? Not call property call is undefined. Cool. Cool. That's progress right there. Now, how do I actually get the REPL working? I thought it was just start REPL. Create a new browser connected to CLJS REPL, okay. Trying to, but CLJS REPL. I need to require it in the boot.build. The build.boot. About that. Boot CLJS REPL. Actually, that was like that. I do need to require it then if we're gonna, well, because we already required it up here. Shouldn't we have like a, well, so it's not quite working. Oh wait, maybe this is blocking it. Oh cool. Okay. So we're gonna move into core. this. Cool. And okay, finally let's move into this namespace. Let's compile it. And let's just say something like JS alert. Maybe there. Cool. Oh, that is neato. Alright, finally let's just check to see whether the we have the CSS stuff working here too. HTML. I don't know really how this would work, but .css. That did something at least. See if it actually found anything. Nah, it doesn't see me. That's okay. I really don't care about that, but it would have been cool if it worked. Whatever. Yeah, don't care about that very much, but do care about everything. It's cool. Alright, very cool. That's not a big deal. What is this out about? Out under who? There should be no out under the... Oh dear. Well, I'm ignoring it, but cool. Cool. Alright. Don't know why this is like this. I don't really care. That's fine by me. Alright, that's it for today. Solid 4 hours of work. So yeah, now it's cool. Basically now you can do, you know, through completely hackish methods, admittedly. Having no real idea what I'm actually doing. But basically just through this build stuff, you can build a perfectly useful, or getting too tired. You could do active development and REPL-based development for a Chrome extension, which, to the best of my knowledge, is better than the best story that JavaScript developers have, right? I mean, I don't think they have like a tool that lets them do this, or that is to say, submit new code whenever they feel like it, and for their Chrome extensions. So this is pretty cool. It's actually a thing that ClojureScript can do now. Admittedly hackishly, but ClojureScript can do now that I don't think there's anything like this for JavaScript at the moment. So that's pretty cool. I'm sure a lot of this could be really cleaned up, and if I understood the internal workings of boot, I'm sure I could make this a lot better. But, you know, it works, so. And it's not really that long. I mean, it's a total of 84 lines. It's just a question of what 84 lines, well, plus other files, but really it's 2 files total. This file and your, this file, the Kickstarter file, right, and the actual build boot file. Right, those 3 things put together results in the ability to develop extensions with a tight development loop, which is pretty cool. Okay, that's pretty much it for right now. We're done recording this one.